Hi Devi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for asking. How do you do?
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely fine. Thank you. So, can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Devi. I'm from Andhra Pradesh. I worked as a database administrator long back. Uh, I left my job due to my family, because of my family. Then
Correct.
later, now I got the time to restart my career. So I was trying for testing environment. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's it.
Right. So, why are you looking for a job in the testing field? You can continue in the Oracle database or in the kind of database role which you already done earlier.
Yeah, I came to know that everything is nowadays, it's database is maintaining in the cloud basis. So there is no life for the database administrating.
Mhm.
So that, and also I was worked in the testing side only. That means that is a test environment which I was worked.
Mm.
So I'm very much interested to work in this test environment because it is a kind of passion for me to finding defects and yeah.
Absolutely. So, this was the right thing, the passion keyword that you used in your answer, because you are restarting your career, I think, after 10 to 14 years, right? So,
Yes.
so it would be very important. This would be the very first question that would come in the mind of the interviewer. Why she is looking for a job in software testing? So this is how you can tell them. Okay, see, my passion is to test the applications. I am very much I have curiosity towards testing the applications. I have curiosity towards software and all those things. That is why I'm looking towards the uh, kind of a job role change, right? So this is how you can tell. Okay, now you have some questions, so we can clarify those questions first, and then we can continue with the market.
Yes, yes. Actually, I'm having a lot of doubts that is it after 14 years gap, is it work out? I mean, with the same past experience, with the past experience, is it
Hmm.
possible to get a job?
Yeah, definitely. See, you are restarting your career after 14 years, right? But you have worked, I think, 2.5 years in the IT field, right? In some XYZ company, you have already worked. So you are not a fresher. So you need to tell to the person who is recruiting or to the HR team that you are not a fresher. At least you are having some experience in the IT companies. And there is a difference between a person who is joining as a fresher and a person who is joining after some career gap, even though they are joining after career gap, but they have got some exposure of the IT fields. They are aware about the planning processes of the organizations, right? It's not a new thing for them. If you don't tell your experience, then you would be, maybe they might give you the salary based on the fresher basis only. But you should tell, let's see, 1 2 3, this was my experience. After some XYZ years of gap, I am restarting my career again. That doesn't mean you are a fresher. You are at least having some experience, right? So this is how you have to negotiate with the HR also, with the recruitment also, with the recruiters as well, right?
Yeah,
You
right.
should mention each and everything that you have worked, any certifications, any any acknowledgement, any awards you have, any courses that you have completed, right? So you should do. And they might ask you or they might not ask you. It depends on the hiring manager, right? Like, what were you doing for 14 years, right? So don't need to worry about those answers. Also, you can tell some personal family reasons were there. That's it. You don't need to worry about, should I tell this thing, should I tell that thing, how will he react, how will she react, what would she think. Don't worry about those things. Just tell personal family reasons. Personal reasons cover all kind of reasons, and there is no questions asked further, right? Yeah. Yeah. What's your next question?
Next question.
Hmm.
Yeah, you continue.
Okay, so we can continue with the mock interview then.
Yeah, a little bit nervous.
Okay, see, one more factor over here. So you don't need to get nervous at all. You don't need to worry at all. See, even if you don't know the answer of the question, any question, it is technical or functional question or scenario based question, just tell the interviewer. You can make a request. See, sir or ma'am, I am trying to restart my career after 14 years gap. So I might not be able to give you 100% of correct answer, but yes, I would give my best. I would like to go for, attempting the answer of this question. Now, in this way, what would happen actually? There are two sides, right? One of the aspect is you know the answer, then it is perfectly fine. Another aspect is even if you don't know the answer, the interviewer will be happy. Okay, no, but she's trying. She's giving a try. She's not, giving it up, right? So this is what would, help you in getting clearing this kind of interviews, right? Okay. So what is the difference between test scenarios and test cases?
Test scenarios is what to test.
Hmm.
Is test scenarios. Test cases means how to test
Hmm.
the application.
Correct. Okay. So are test scenarios a subset of test cases, or test cases are a subset of test scenarios?
Test cases are subset of test scenarios.
Mhm. Perfect answer. So can you give me an example of test scenario and test cases? High level example.
Example, high level example like login functionalities. Okay, if I take Google functionality, I mean Google login functionality, just we have to check the what we have to first check what kind of functionalities we have to check.
Hmm.
So we have to mention that test scenarios one by one. Login functionality, then use a password, forget password, and one more, yeah. So then after listing all the scenarios, then we have to write down the test cases step by step. I mean, so what is the what is the way how to test? I mean, we have to supply what kind of data we have to supply to test that particular application. Yeah.
Correct. So when they ask you about this, example, so you can take for an example any reference of e-commerce based application. So few test scenarios would be, you would be validating the search functionality, you would be validating the login functionality as you mentioned, then you will be verifying the payments functionality. Now when it comes to test cases, so in the test scenarios you just mentioned, you will be verifying or validating the login functionality, but then in the test cases you would be having, you will be checking the behavior of the application when you are supplying correct email address and password, then invalid email address but valid password, then valid email address and invalid password, invalid email address and invalid password, then email address and password both are left blank, right?
Yeah.
And you are clicking on sign in. So these are the examples of test cases. So you can explain like this. While test scenarios is just a single line, you have to check the login functionality or search functionality. Okay. Now you have got experience in automation testing as well. So you have got experience in, it's mentioned in your CV that you have been using Selenium WebDriver with Cucumber. Okay. So what is Cucumber?
Cucumber.
Yeah. Yeah. You can take your time. This is a mock interview, right? This is not a real time interview, but you will come to know, okay, what kind of preparation you require and what all topics you need to revisit, those all things. You can have a glass of water also. Be cool. Okay. In real time interview also, don't get nervous. If you will get nervous, so what would happen, even if you know the answer of the question, you won't be able to recall. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So I'll give you a hint. There is some relationship between Cucumber and the automation framework, that is BDD, behavior driven development, right? Framework is there. So there is some relationship between the two. Now these two dots you need to connect.
We have to write when and when we have to test that scenario and where I mean and where to test and using and that keywords. So based on that we used to connect that one. We used to.
Perfect. Yeah. So what we are doing in, BDD framework is you would have done is you would have written the feature file. You would have created one feature file, right? That feature file is based on what actually you have to test. So as you were telling it very rightly, you are going in the right direction. Then you would have used those keywords: given, when, then, and, right? These kind of keywords are used. Now, why these keywords are used in this framework? What is the specialty about this framework?
Specialty.
Hmm.
Mm.
There are multiple frameworks, like someone is following TDD, someone is following data driven framework, someone is following keyword driven framework. Why we go for BDD framework? What is so special in BDD framework? And one more good thing about you is it is mentioned in your CV that you have worked on BDD, and that BDD framework is in demand also these days. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. No worries. I'll give you the answer. See, what would happen, and generally, other frameworks, data driven, keyword driven framework, we are writing code. We are simply writing code, like public static void main and all those things we are writing. Now, when it comes to technical testers or, SDET or, automation team who are developing these scripts, it is easy for them to write this code and understand this code. But think from an angle of the non-functional people, like, business analysts are there, project managers are there, right? They won't
Yeah.
understand.
Easy to understand.
Yeah,
Right.
now
Easy
you are
to
getting.
understand.
So to so in all
Manual language.
Correct. So that
It.
they can understand from their aspect. Let's say tomorrow we are on leave, or they want to develop their automation from their some scenario based automation they want to develop. So what they would do is they won't write those code, but at least they will have a reference of feature files. So they will write given, when, then. Given is prerequisite, right? Then is what is expected result, right? And they will have that test data as well in the kind of pipe characters they will write, which username, which password should those combinations should go. And at the backend there would be Java or Python code, but at least they would be able to write the automation script to some extent, right? So in order to help these kind of people, we are having this BDD framework. Okay. So if anyone is asking you these questions, so you have to, explain in this manner. So definitely it would be good for you. Okay. So, and one more advantage is Cucumber is an open source tool again, right?
Yes.
So plain text representation is there, which makes it easy for the non-technical users to understand the scenarios. And it is kind of making a communication gap between the various business analysts and the automation developers, right? So that is there. Okay. Okay. What is the limit for the maximum number of scenarios that can be included in the feature file?
I think no limit.
Absolutely. You are on the right side. No limit is there. You can keep feature file up to, 10 scenarios, 20 scenarios, 50 scenarios. But as per the best practices and as per the, quality standards, it is advisable to keep 10 features. 10 is the limit
Limited.
content. Yeah.
Limit 10.
Correct, correct. So maximum of 10 scenarios a feature file can contain, right? But again, the number can vary from project to project, from department to department, depends on the organization to organization, right? But it is advisable to limit the number of scenarios included in a feature file. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of Cucumber options tag? Have you used Cucumber options tag?
Cucumber options tag.
Hmm.
No idea.
Okay, no worries. So let this be an open question for the people who would be watching this video, right? What is the meaning or what is the purpose of the Cucumber options tag? Okay. Now in your CV, it's mentioned that you were involved in defect management, defect review, defect status reporting using Rally. Okay, Rally tool you were using. Okay, you have worked with Jenkins Agile. So what is Jenkins? favorite question. You'll get this question in an interview.
Sorry.
Okay, no worries. See, Jenkins is actually a CI/CD tool, right? Continuous integration, continuous development tool, because of which you would be running your automation, right? Now, earlier, what used to happen is, people used to develop the scripts in IntelliJ or Eclipse in whichever ID,
Yeah.
and they used to click on run button from there. But what if the release is done at 11 p.m. at night? Right, or it's 12:30 p.m., 12:30 midnight, or 3 o'clock. So it's not possible for testers to be over there and click on those options manually and monitor end-to-end thing. So Jenkins is a CI/CD tool which will take care of triggering your automation automatically. Once your automation runs, then then it will generate an emailable report kind of, and it would go to all the stakeholders, the team members, so they would come to know, okay, how many tests have passed, how many tests have failed, like that. Okay, so this is fine. Now, what is the difference between retesting and regression testing?
Retesting, if you find any defect after rectifying that defect, whatever the test we are doing on the application is called retesting. Whereas the regression testing, the whatever the functionalities which is related to the particular defect, then we have to again testing is called a regression testing.
Got it. Okay. Okay, what is TestNG?
TestNG is an is a testing an application using TestNG. How can I say?
What else?
There we are writing annotations, and so sorry, yeah, I'm unable to say.
Okay, no worries. So TestNG is nothing but you can say TestNG framework is used to help automation developers to perform test, right? And they will be able to create methods like before method, at the rate test. So those kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, those kind of annotations are available, right? Then you can also produce the automated reports with the information such as failed test, pass test, test
How many
execution
tests?
times, right? Then using TestNG, it would also allow you to group the methods, by, let's say, if you want to group some similar kind of multiple methods in one unit, so those would happen. So using grouping, it allows us to execute that similar kind of test together, right, rather than executing them individually. So those are few of the advantages of TestNG. Okay, now coming to the next question. Let's say if you have two test cases, one is having priority equal to 2, another test case is having priority equal to 1. So which test case will get executed first?
Which is priority equal to 1, you will get execute first, then the next one.
Wonderful. Okay. Now, can you tell me high-level test scenarios of Book My Show application? Do you use Book My Show application in mobile?
No.
Okay. Which applications you have in your mobile?
Myntra.
Myntra you have. Okay, great. So you
Yeah.
can tell me the test scenarios. Let's say a test manager or a test leads comes to you and they tell, okay, Devi, we have to test these kind of applications, Myntra application in a mobile phone, right? So how you will
Okay.
test it? Which are the different test scenarios that you will use to test?
Mobile application. Yeah. I mean, first we used to check whether the login functionalities is working in proper way or not, and we have to check whether the uh, items are related items are displaying in a proper way or not, and we have to check segregation of like men, women, these types of functioning in a proper way or not. and all the we have to check in high level means only we can check it is in a login functionalities. Then whereas the application side, the logo is displaying in a proper way or not, and it is compatible to the mobile, or I mean compatible is displaying in proper way to the user customer. And what are the, I mean, like how like the, yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. Then you can also cover the payment options. Which are the various
Yes,
payment options?
yeah, various payment options are there. We have to, I mean, like cash and delivery or some card payment or not. While paymenting, whether if any issues come across, whether the payment, I mean, roll back to the particular account or not, we have to check that, those kind of functionality.
Then you can also have a testing of search feature. Let's say if you are searching for some shirt or any product or any material,
Yeah.
then those options should get listed along with their prices. Then if they have any discounts or offers, sometimes some festival season is going on or some these things, so those should get displayed. Then okay, so this was the positive testing, right? You can also cover negative test scenarios, right? Can you tell me few of the negative test scenarios?
Negative scenarios in the as usual login functionalities, we can check with the by supplying wrong password, wrong username, wrong password, and by like payment option, we can choose different kinds of payment option, whether it is whether we are getting money to account or not. We have to check different kind of payment options also.
Right.
And
In payment option also, you will have one scenario where let's say you have to pay, for example, 1,000 rupees, but in your account there is only 600, right? So still you will enter the card and you will process the payment and see whether those kind of
payment process, yeah, it is going
so those kind
process
of
is
negative test cases you have to test. Then let's say if there are only two products into the cart available, right, and uh, you enter the number as three or more than two, then what message it is showing, right? So these kind of scenarios you can test in the negative testing. Okay, now you can also cover non-functional test scenarios. Non-functional means related to performance testing, related to load testing, related to stress testing, right? So over there, what you need to do is you can simply mention that, for example, if 50 users are testing or using this application at one particular time, or 5,000 or 10,000, then what would happen? On the similar lines, let's say if multiple users are trying to log in at the same particular time, then what would happen, right? And then if, as Myntra is a mobile based application, right? So at that time you also can cover, let's say you are using this application, you have added something to the cart, now you are receiving a call. After disconnecting the call, on which page you are getting landed in the Myntra application, or it is signing you out. It should sign you out if after sufficient time you are again using that application, right? Then what if you get a WhatsApp call in between? What if the internet gets disconnected? That is also part of negative test.
disconnected. Yeah.
Disconnected. Then
Payment option. While payment option, if we get disconnected, what will
disconnecting the
happen?
internet.
Whether it is rollback or
Correct. Then again, you can order anything from the Myntra app using your mobile's internet. Then at the same time, you're using a Wi-Fi. Someone else is
yeah.
providing internet via hotspot. That also you can test. Or you are connected to some Wi-Fi. That also you can test, right? Then you should get some proper email after the order is done or booking is done, as an acknowledgement receipt. Okay, so and so details has been ordered. So these are all the scenarios that you need to tell. Now definitely see, as you are appearing for software testing interview, you will get such kind of questions on test scenarios. So this is like a bonus question. You should try to answer more and more in this kind of question, and try to answer for 5-10 minutes. So what would happen, automatically the interviewer will come to know, okay, she is knowing all these things. So the list of the questions, which might be lengthy one, or which might be 10 to 11 questions, for example, so it will get uh, it will be shortened from his side, so 5 to 6 questions, right? Because he will come to know, okay, she's able to think from 360-degree angle.
Yeah.
Right, so accordingly you can answer. Okay, now can you give me an example of a defect with high severity and low priority?
Defect, high severity, low priority. Logo, company logo.
Okay.
It is a high severity, but there is no effect on functionality, so that we can. But logo is a we have to that logo must be in a proper way. That is a high severity.
Okay, so let's say you mean to say if a logo is not displayed properly, so it would be a high severity defect and low priority. Okay.
Low priority.
So I give you one example. Let's say you are booking something on a Myntra application. The Myntra's logo is not properly displayed, right? There's some spelling mistake or some blur effect is there. So would it impact your, your business, uh, your business thing, or how you are using that application? Would it impact that?
Definitely, it will get impact because the logo, if not for the users, but to the company, definitely it will get bad impact
Right.
if your
So
logo is not properly.
correct. So to the company, it is impacting. The brand value is getting impacted, right? But at the same time, your user flow, the business, the behavioral flow that is there of the application, you are able to use that application. Some other person is able to use that application. So severity will be low, but priority would be high. It is not impacting the business value of the users, right? They are able to do all those crude operations. They are able to use that application, but the branding of the company is getting impacted. So priority is high, severity will be low, right? The severity would be high when your work is getting impacted, when a user is not able to use that application as per his or her requirements, as per the functional requirements, right? So it's a vice versa. So if we ask you the question of high priority and low severity, then logo will come in the picture, right? But if it's in high severity, low priority, so what you have to tell?
High severity, low priority.
Hmm, hmm.
Mm.
Okay, no worries. So consider an example where there are, for example, 20 tabs available in your application, in your software, right? One of the tab, the client or customer has decided that they would be using it after 2 weeks, right? Now, when you go to that tab, you are getting some unhandled exception, right? Severity is high. You won't be able to use that tab. But priority is low because customer or client has told that they would be using that application, that tab of that application after 2 weeks,
Sorry.
right? Priority is low because no one is going to use that page. Let's say there are some Diwali based offers that would be, rolled out on that particular tab or page. So priority is low. It would be taken care when Diwali or Christmas is coming. But severity is high because exception are coming on that page, right? So this is an example of high severity and low
No.
priority. Okay. Okay, Devi, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, a lot of questions.
Yeah, please ask.
I'm a little bit nervous how to ask also.
You can ask. There is nothing like getting nervous. This is a mock interview. you can ask, you can clarify your doubts, you can clarify your questions. It would be good you if you ask here and you get correct guidance, rather than in a real time interview if you face those things.
Yeah, while preparing CV also, I'm getting a lot of doubt whether whether I'm able to, continue with the past experience or not. And there is a lot of changes had happened past 14 years that I couldn't able to cope up with the current applications which we are using, because I'm completely into the family field, so that I never ever look back what had happening in the IT field. So
No
now
worries.
past 2 to 3 months onwards, I'm trying to analyzing these things every day.
Hmm.
And I was taking, is there any certification as I need to do,
Hmm.
which I done earlier, Oracle certification I did already,
Hmm.
10G. So as I need to do any certification for this, or else is the current experience is enough for me to continue?
Okay, so there are two things. You can go for certification, but that does not mean that you should stop trying or applying for the jobs. This
Okay.
should be parallel, right? You apply for the jobs, you try for the jobs, you update your CV, but at the same time give 2 to 4 hours for certification. There is certification of ISTQB foundation level, which you can try. Then there is CAST certification as well, which you should do. And these certifications have an amount of round about 7,000 rupees, and it's a multiple choice question, which, and the examination you can give from home also, right? No negative marking. So you can prepare for these kind of certifications, but at the same time keep yourself upgrading in the manual testing, automation testing concepts. Whichever thing you are learning, write those things in the CV. If you're not able to learn anything, then don't put those things in the CV, right?
Okay.
Simple. Because whatever things you will put in the CV, those questions you will get. Again, now coming to these 14 years, right? So test cases, test scenarios, those things are still the same. Earlier people used to write in the Excel file or some document kind of files, Microsoft Office based files. Now they have got some fancy tools like Jira has come up, test management tool has come up. So Jira you can learn. Jira is one of the tool that is mostly used in many companies. Jira is there. Then for bug tracking also, now defect tracking also, Jira is only used. So in Jira you can create test cases, you can add test steps, you can add test data in that. So that is a very useful tool. You can learn Jira. In that only you will be writing test cases, defects and all those things, right? And coming to automation, so Selenium BDD is still in demand, right? If you have good confidence in Java, then revisit all your concepts of Java, right? Java and Python are in demand, but still Java is more in demand. It's an evergreen language. Whichever company you will try, definitely they will have some automation projects in Java. Okay. What else you have? Which other questions you would like to ask?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So hope this interview would help you in the real time interview, right? And we wish you all the best for your career. I'm very sure that very soon you will be getting a good job, and please let us know once you get a good job. We would be happy to cover your success story as well, like how did you prepare, how did you apply. It would be helping the people in the community as well. So thank you so much, Devi. All the best for your career.
Thank you.